When I say bum,
God damn it!
You pissed up the wrong tree.
hey, so full disclosure, I used to think Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme was a good movie, so my standards are pretty low. I have played some really bad video games. I've played Fugitive, War on Terror, 25 to Life, Home Alone, Secret Service, twice, NRA Gun Club, State of Emergency 2, White Van Racer, and I finished everything in Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys. Now, Snow White is an abomination of God, but it's more of an interactive DVD menu, so it's kind of in its own special category, its own circle of hell, as it were. It's barely even a game. I streamed The Shield on PS2 recently, and it was an abysmal piece of garbage, but unlike Snow White, The Shield actually tried to be a real video game, and I had a revelation. I finally realized what makes a video game truly bad. Now, The Shield is not good, let's be very clear about that, but again, it tried to be something. The mechanics are awful, but they tried to throw in a bunch of neat little dirty cop stuff to make you feel like you were playing as Vic Mackey, and I really did feel gross about some of the stuff I got to do in the game, which is how it felt watching the show. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm willing to bet that the development team had good intentions, but they were probably given a minimal budget and next to no time to finish their project. A lot of licensed games, especially during that era, were pumped out in a hurry to capitalize on a show or movie to make a quick buck. And for what it's worth, The Shield gave me plenty of good laughs, even if they were unintentional. So yes, the game sucks, but I appreciated what effort was there. But for some reason, I needed to go further down the well. I was curious to see what kind of rot I could subject myself to. What's the worst game I could play on the old PlayStation 2, arguably the greatest console of all time? Well, after a lot of reading and now a lot of playing, I believe I have found the answer. I've found a game that doesn't even try. A game that took a famous license, barely slapped together some models and a few sound effects, and tried to pass it off for money based solely on the fact that you'd recognize the source material. When poor quality is not a result of limited time, budget, or staffing, but rather laziness and incompetence, that's when a game is truly worth a venomous diatribe. I present a venomous diatribe. So, back in the day, Beverly Hills Cop was one of my favorite movies. I used to watch this and the VHS of Die Hard all the time as a kid. I love that movie and all of its cheesy sequels. Even the 2024 film Axel F, which is a terrible name, is something that I really enjoyed, despite it not being that good. But it had Eddie Murphy in the old Detroit Lions jacket doing his thing as the iconic Axel Foley. And I just love that character so much, and I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan from way back before Shrek. And really, it should work extremely well for a video game. The concept alone is money. A Detroit cop in Los Angeles, a fish out of water getting mixed up in a conspiracy of guns and drugs and trying to find out why his best friend was killed back home. And there's perfect gameplay fodder too. Axel's history as a criminal, using all his little tricks to get into places, the shootouts, the arrests, all the iconic characters. Billy, Taggart, and Serge. There's so much potential in this license, it's brimming. Well, evidently Blast Entertainment thought so as well, and in 2006 they published a game based on this license, which must have been dirt cheap to acquire at the time, the reason for which should be evident shortly. Oh god, look at this film studio logo. It's a low-res JPEG. Oh boy. Yes, English, I know that. Oh god, who is that? That's not Axel Foley, obviously. It looks like the future people from South Park, you know, chicken sandwich. Well, at least it's not supposed to be Axel, right? Alright, so you move insanely slow in this game. There is no sprint. I'm not crouched. You literally just move like this. Why am I here? Just to suffer? Also, the extremely low poly hands and car are just the chef's kiss if the chef had a virus and was bleeding into your mouth. Sorry, that was gross, but not as gross as the lack of voice acting. I mean, Jesus, dude, it's an iconic film character and you couldn't hire anyone to be a sound-alike? Time for some stealth. Deep breath. You know, I've beaten Snake Eater on European Extreme without a single kill, but I can't get through Beverly Hills Cop's junkyard. Okay, try again. Now, do enemies have vision cones? Do you have a stealth meter? Do the bad guys even make footstep noise? Don't trouble yourself with questions for which you already have the answer. No is the answer, by the way. Anyway, let's go through and... Jesus, dude. That's our hero. The guy that looks like a deep-fried testicle in disguise is our protagonist. Great job, everyone. Speaking of disguise, now that I have this getup, I can pass as a mechanic and walk around. It's like Agent 47 with a bit of melanin. Don't steal my idea, Netflix. Excuse me, sir, is this our illegal chop shop? This is just my workplace gun. Something I noticed. This game has almost zero sound. No music, no footsteps, no ladder climbing sounds, no idle chatter, nothing but the sounds of random hammering and a lug nut drill. And normally I find PS2 graphics, even the bad ones, very charming. But this is the definition of bottom of the barrel. It looks like an old Slavjank budget PC game from the year 2000, just worse. And evidently every mechanic is just openly carrying firearms. Can't have shit in Detroit. Also, OSHA violations don't exist here. I can fire my weapon in the workplace and nobody cares. Actually, this game is awesome. Okay, so a few of the fellas didn't like me blasting this guy, but brown coat guy here wasn't sure. And then he decided, I better join in. So after a bit of horseplay between the fellas, it was time to get back to work. The boss hates when we goof off on the job. So is my objective as a city cop to just kill everyone? Oh, a key. Could have started there, I suppose. But once I pop, I just can't stop. Hey, so what are the controls like, I hear you say? Well, take, I don't know, return to Castle Wolfenstein, say. Take away BJ's legs, handcuff his hands behind him, roll his body in Manuka honey, and say, okay, go out and fight now. That's Beverly Hills Cop on the PS2. Oh, gotta go find the computer geek that every chop shop has. We all know that only nerds know computer passwords. Here we see the persuasion minigame. It's a completely arbitrary skill check. Land on the red, you get a bad speech option. Get yellow, ooh, you're in danger. Get green 3 times, and you win. Except no. You can get 2 reds and a green, and you're fine. You can get 2 greens, but if the last one is red, well, tough shit, you lose. And it happens, about 20 times in this 90-minute game, so get used to it. And the writing. Nothing says thanks like 5 years in jail. I'm sorry, what was the offense, officer? A guy gave a colleague a password to a computer? Who are you, Judge Dredd? Suddenly music, I guess. Well, I made a single mistake on the speech minigame, and guess what? You start the entire level over. No checkpoints. Shouldn't have clicked the red one, I guess. So I take a bullet before I even get to retry. Okay. Now I succeeded, but I still needed to gun my way out, so that was worth it. Don't you love when a plan comes together? This guy sleeping through the gunfire won't mind if I take his shotgun. This is for sleeping on the job, buddy. Oh, he's one of those people made out of dust. You know, I've heard of those. So, this is the game's shotgun, and wow. Just wow. You all owe Doom 3 an apology. Good thing the giant red gas can says gas on it. Otherwise, who would have known? So, my objective is to get the can to a sports car, fill her up, and smash through the garage door to get away. Very inconspicuous. Great police work, fake Axel Foley. Wait, no. No, it can't be. Oh my fuck. It is Axel Foley. Oh, so deep fried Axel stares at his jizzy CRT monitor while listening to Taggart on the phone. I didn't edit out the sound, by the way. Again, outside of the phone ringing, there is literally no other sound. Not a single chair squeak or the phone cord dragging on the desk. Nothing. This is officially the greatest pre-mission briefing screen ever. Watch out for security and any shady goings-on. Who wrote this crap? Me? Yeah, just pest control guy with a gun. These roaches are getting big. So I gotta find Billy, played by Judge Reinhold in the movie. He's not played by Judge in this game, or anyone for that matter. Oh my god, did the scripted camera just bonk the ceiling? It did. Holy moly. Hey, good work, guys. Oh, thank goodness. Another forced stealth segment. Hell yeah. And the level's over if you get caught. Wonderful. You know, it's actually my fault for playing this game. Yeah, that boat is clearly slicing right through the water. It's definitely not some cheap garbage mirrored texture. I better be sneaky, he says. This motherfucker. Another forced stealth segment. My favorite. Hey, shoot first and ask questions at the same time, as the old saying goes. A surveillance camera? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. How about we use the Kalashnikov? All right. Well, the brass is just drifting away as it does. Oh, and if you're curious, yes, the game really does run this poorly. It's frankly exhausting in a few areas. Positively exhausting. The game in general. No checkpoints, unskippable cutscenes, no voice acting. There are 6 levels in total, one of which is recycled. Enemies will sometimes run right into walls, and then other times they're like Delta Force operators, and you're the same. At times, you'll hit a headshot on a moving target with your little pistol, and other times you'll dump a magazine into a guy at point blank and can't hit a gosh darn thing. And the biggest sin of all, Axel Foley is wearing an LA jacket. So the guy's got no hair, he's not truly black, he's got no gap in his teeth, and he wears a dirty LA jacket. Get that Detroit Lions on you, you bum. Well, it's time to hit up the titty bar. The fast what? The fast monkey. The fast monkette? Fast manlet? All right, let's see the sweater meat. Well, actual music in a level for once. It's horrible, but it's something, I guess. Wait, so I did a skill check to get by, which allowed me to sneak by? all right? Anyway, it's good to see Valentin Sukovsky doing well in retirement. Yeah, this guy definitely beats his pets. Whoa, dude, here we go. Nice. A fully clothed lady with the same animation cycle on repeat. That rocks my socks. And now an exciting video game mechanic, collecting glasses from the tables. You know, just like in the movie. These guys getting their fortunes told. I think your bike's in the basement of the Alamo. This dude said they were about to run out of glasses. This strip club has 5 whole glasses to itself. In the end, you just get thrown out. And you know, because you don't draw your weapon a single time, this might actually be my favorite level, which is high praise for an FPS when you don't do any S-ing in FP. Here comes the recycled map. Time for the M16, which is just the Uzi, but bigger and blacker. What was that? Okay, I have to break character for a second. What was that? Is this a blunderbuss or an M79? I have no clue. Wait, why can't I just randomly save a stripper from a van? To what end? It's never explained. You're welcome. So, like in every 80s action movie, you have to storm the big rich evil guy's mansion. Now, to be fair, this guy wears a medallion. He deserves to die. I've said it already, but it must be said again. This game is exhausting. It's hard to tell from watching footage, but playing this felt like actual work. It gave me a headache. I think I kind of owe Turok Evolution an apology. Nah, not really. I like how this revolver cylinder doesn't rotate or use any of its ammunition. Magical. Oh gee, I wonder how I will ever beat this part. Freeze sucka? Freeze sucka? When did Eddie Murphy ever talk like a jive turkey? This was definitely written by Brits. I'm sorry, no offense to my British brothers. Well, maybe in a minute. So, the medallion man makes a run for it. Your solution? Just shoot at the helicopter until the game decides it's had enough. Wow, what a thrilling conclusion. I don't know how many goddamn Falcus brothers worked on this piece of garbage, but had any of you actually played a video game beforehand? If this was a high school CS project, okay, maybe it would be passable, but these guys had a sales team and a PR rep. Christ out loud, it's just so obvious that this had the absolute minimal effort put into it.
It's pain!
And that's what makes it bad. You didn't even try. But alright, is Beverly Hills Cop truly the worst game I've ever played? Well, it was, right up until I played Little Britain. Ugh. I couldn't help but sate my curiosity, and I tumbled down a deep, dark rabbit hole. You see, Beverly Hills Cop is rotten. It's extremely bad and had no business being sold for money, but it was fun to laugh at, just to see how bad licensed games can get. I didn't want to play another 5 minutes of that crap, but it was almost charming in its awfulness. Little Britain, on the other hand, nearly made me physically ill. This is real, and you need to feel the pain that I felt. I don't like to use the word hate flippantly. It's a strong word and should only be used when applicable. That said, this is everything I hate about licensed games. Just buy some property rights and slap any old shit into it and legally sell it as a video game. Blatantly rip off a bunch of well-established gaming conventions and do them really poorly. No effort whatsoever. A deliberate cash grab. Little Britain is a sketch comedy show from the early 2000s. It's not everyone's cup of Earl Grey, and even I have to be in the right mood to enjoy it, but I've known many people that love the show. Well, that's great. So how does that translate into a video game? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. This is the purest form of shovelware, and wouldn't you know it, this was published by none other than Blast Entertainment. Fancy that. Let's get this over with.
Do tricks for extra points, but not if you don't want to. Skate hard and keep it real.
Like I said, I really have to be in the mood for this kind of humor, and I'm not. We play a series of mini games as a character from the show, starting with Vicky Pollard. Well, one thing I'll say, at least there's actual voice acting in this game, with Matt Lucas and David Walliams providing their talents and likenesses to the game. I mean, they sound half asleep the whole time, but I can't really blame them. Think of the money, lads. You control Vicky as she roller skates through a park, collecting CDs. I should just end it all. Did I say that out loud or just think it? You cannot imagine how poorly this controls. It's unbelievably sluggish and sloppy and bad. I cannot believe that human beings played this and approved of it. I know we shouldn't let perfect get in the way of good, but how's about playable? Holy smokes, man. I can hardly muster the words, and the words that I did muster cannot be repeated here. And halfway through this abomination, I realized that the UI said lap 1 of 2. The sadness that I felt. Your reward for slogging through this madness is a clip from the show. If you're unfamiliar, think Tim and Eric with more football hooliganism. The next thrilling minigame sees you controlling Andy, running to various diving boards to do tricks into a pool. The joke is that he's slow and disabled, but is actually capable. Heh. Oh hell, it's a fat guy doing funny stuff. It's not supposed to be deep. Next up is Pac-Man. I'm not even kidding. You run about as this portly character, Marjorie Dawes, collecting biscuits just like Pac-Man. The ghosts are obese people. Yes, really. And if you collect the cake power-up, you don't eat the ghosts. You literally run up and fat shame them and then they run off. I'm not kidding about any of this. The humor isn't what offended me though. The gameplay did. How in the world do you make Pac-Man suck? It's such a simple formula. You didn't even create this gameplay and you still borked it. The camera is zoomed in, so you can't see if a ghost is coming up until it's almost too late. And the controls are slippery and awful. You'll turn down aisles that you didn't mean to turn down, or you'll spin around when you didn't try to. You have 2 big levels and 3 lives to share between them. If you fail, you start all the way over. These developers couldn't even steal correctly. This is just whack-a-mole, and again, it's horrifically bad. You have to squash frogs with a billy club while not damaging the decorative ones. Lamau, so random. But you swing very slowly, and the frogs move at light speed without any real pattern. You kind of just guess and hope for the best. I'm so grateful I beat this in one go. I really wish I could say the same for the next one. Now we have a game of footy with the lads dressed as ladies. Wow. This minigame, you know, I consider myself a fairly level-headed guy, but I'm going to be honest with you. This minigame nearly made me smash my controller into about 1,000 pieces. You have to get 3 goals, with extra points granted if you land on a corner target. If one of the kids on the field touches the ball, you start your kick over again. The transitions between each kick are so slow, with a boring little cutscene and loading in between them. Somehow, the kids on the field almost always seem to float right towards your ball as it comes down, and getting a goal seemed like pure luck. The music alone almost made me lose my mind, and listening to David Walliam's tedious, grating, low-effort lady voice over and over again was just the icing on top. And hey, look, art is one of my favorite episodes of a television show ever, but this was unbearable. How? Just how do you mess up soccer in a video game? It's been done 10 trillion times. Surely someone on the team knew how to make football better in a game. But you see, that's me assuming anyone actually would have cared to try. This may be the most tedious thing I've ever played in a video game, and I've played some really bad ones.
God damn it!
The next stage is the peak of English humor. You fill up Maggie's gut until the timer expires and vomit goes everywhere. Stunningly funny. And as you can see, it's just a worse version of Tetris, another gaming template that has been repeated and perfected 1,000 times, yet is somehow much, much worse in Little Britain. You can't rotate shapes or stack big shape chains for combos. It's just 3 sweet treats in a vertical column again and again until aforementioned vomit. And how apropos. The finale has us playing as Daffyd Thomas, collecting gay magazines and yelling at other guys for not being gay enough, which is kind of like when I talk to Digital Hauntology. Hey, go subscribe to Digital Hauntology. Dude's handsome. This plays almost exactly like the awful rollerblading stage. I rolled quite gaily for 2 laps, and that was the end of that. Evidently, there's a bonus stage on the PC and the PS2, with another exclusive bonus stage on the PSP. There's also a challenge mode where you play a level again with specific parameters. You know, do a perfect belly flop at the pool, perform 3 perfect tricks as Vicky on the roller skates. And you know what? Be my guest. Go find this game and do this to yourself if you wish. Knock yourself out. You'll probably actually want to. This is, without a doubt, the worst game I've played on the PS2, and I'm struggling to think of a worse video game I've ever played, period. It's bereft of all value. I love video games. Even the bad games that I listed at the start of the video have some value, if for no other reason than to chuckle at their silliness. Sure, Secret Service was Temu Call of Duty, but you know something? I had a good time playing through it and having a laugh. Well, Little Britain makes Secret Service seem like modern warfare. You put next to no effort into this slop, and you wanted people to give you their money for it. Well, I hope you spent it well, you absolute bastards. So, will I do the challenge mode or seek out the bonus stage? You know what? After just 40 minutes of playing Little Britain, I think I'd rather hold a press conference with a manila envelope.
that gigantic cotton candy.